Hi, and welcome to another episode. Thank you for dropping by. There's lots and lots of things that really annoy me about Meghan Markle, and I know that you're probably rolling your eyes and going, yes, us too. But one thing that really, really gripes me about Meghan is how for nearly 4 decades of her life, how she did not acknowledge that she was a woman of colour, how she did not acknowledge the fact that she did have that DNA in her. It was reported that when her mother wasn't away for that very long period of time, it was reported that if her mother wanted to pick her up from school, she didn't want her to pick her up from school. And if the mum did pick her up from school, she'd often tell her friends that it was the maid. She was that embarrassed of being dark skinned. I just can't get my head around how she would be, how a child at that age, a young age, would have that kind of mentality to think that people of colour don't have worth. How did she get that mentality? I would suspect that it was being around Doria's family and Doria herself that she thought she was superior to them. Because in Meghan's mind, people of colour are either a maid or a janitor. They don't amount to much. Why did she think she was better than them? Where did she get that from? When they probably really loved her and really doted on her, why did she deny herself of her own DNA of being a woman of colour? It makes you wonder how her mind ticked at such a young age. Where did that come from? That mentality, that thinking.
To see Meghan Markle's baby than these folks, her American relatives.
Welcome to the Ragland Royal Family Baby Shower in honor of our cousin, the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, and her husband, Prince Harry. Give it up!
They're all related to Meghan's mom, Doria Ragland, whose roots lie right here in Jonesboro, Georgia.
Like I said, for nearly 4 decades, she denied her own DNA. She didn't want to be known as biracial. Instead of standing proud and being proud of who she was, she thought she was superior to people of colour. That is a really disturbing mentality to have, especially back then while she was at school. And she liked her dad sending a car to pick her up after school because she felt like she was high almighty. Look, I've got a car picking me up from school, a driver. But oh no, I'm not a person of colour, no. I'm Caucasian. I find that really, really disrespectful to people of colour. Because really, all she has done is gaslit people of colour. Because in her mind, she thinks she's superior. Until the very day she hoodwinked Harry. Because she went out of her way to find the whitest of person without any colour in them to marry. All her relationships were white men. And yet she has gone out there and pulled the race card when she is the racist, when she's the one that's not proud of her mother's side of the family or her mother. How much did Meghan pay that side of the family or Doria to go away and not rear their heads, not say anything, not come out in the open about anything? Doria's past, whatever, anything at all. Why was she so embarrassed? Should you not be proud of who you are, no matter who you are? Should you not acknowledge who you are? No, she spent 4 decades denying it, saying that she was European, Italian, Spanish, anything But being a biracial woman, that is the most disrespectful thing, I believe, that she could have done to a population of coloured people. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting that she could not just be proud of herself, even at a young age, be proud of who she was. But yet she called her mother the maid, her own mum a maid, because in her eyes, people of colour are either janitors or maids. They don't amount to anything. And now she thinks she's superior. But to be superior, she had to get a white person, didn't she? Why didn't she marry a gorgeous dark man? People of colour are absolutely stunning. They don't carry on like this. They don't do what she has done. They're not disrespectful. They're about family. They're about love. They're about happiness. They're strong. They've got strong wills. They are such beautiful people. I know many of them. And I'm sure all you people that are listening know many people of colour. They have got such soul. How could she be so disrespectful to people like that? How could she possibly be that evil? To look down upon her own DNA. It was rumoured that Oprah was only invited because she promised her an interview with the Queen. Yet we know how that panned out. And what better to have a woman of colour to do your interview? So you've got someone in your corner when you need to play that card. People of colour don't do that. They're proud. Did she think in her warped little mind, in my opinion, did she think that white people were more privileged? Was that her thought pattern? Because if it was, that is absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. But that's Meghan, isn't it? She doesn't think about anyone but herself. Because that's who she is. How she disrespected Doria's side of the family. Like I said, how much did she pay them all? How much did she actually pay them all to go away so they didn't ever have to say they know her? Because for her, that would be beneath her. Because if any of them come out and said anything, even nice things, I'm not saying nasty things, not at all. Even if they come out and say, she was a beautiful baby, she was a lovely young lady, we went to her play, or whatever it may be. She doesn't want them to come out at all because she's ashamed. Because if she was a strong, proud, biracial woman, she would absolutely allow them to come out and say whatever they wished. Do I think it's pride that they're not saying anything? I think myself, my opinion, the way I see it, they're probably very, very disappointed in her. Very disappointed in her and how she triggered this racism rubbish. Because that's exactly what it is. It is rubbish because everybody should be proud of who they are, no matter what race, religion, colour, etc. But not Meghan. Meghan only thinks for herself, for the money she can get in her pocket, and for how many headlines she can make. Sorry, but in my opinion, Meghan is an extremely racist woman. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.